Welcome to Mind Over Matter, where we feature young Jamaicans who are shooting for the stars. I'm your host, Margaret Boyne. She's only 19 years old. She's a first-year student at Howard University, where she was selected for NASA's Student Airborne Science Activation Program. She recently launched the College Connect International, which aims to increase opportunities through education across third world countries, starting with Jamaica. My guest is Angelica Stewart. Welcome to Mind Over Matter, Angelica.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. Nice having you, man.
Thank you for having me.
You're a first-year student at Howard University, but you were accepted into 14 universities and you chose Howard. Tell me why you selected Howard.
Okay, so I'm a rising sophomore, so I just completed my first year. Why I chose Howard? First, I wanted to go to a school where a lot of Jamaicans were, because I didn't want to, I wanted to go to a school with a lot of Jamaicans. I wanted to go to a school where there are people like me in terms of color. Howard University is a historically Black college, and that's something I feel like I'll be able to thrive in an environment where I could see people like me. Mm-hmm. Also, I feel like Howard has a great engineering program, but because we're like Black people in America are very marginalized, it's not recognized as much. And I feel like I want to be a part of that change, that engineering change. So, Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And I want to be a change. I want to put Howard engineering program on the map. So yeah, that's why I chose Howard.
So you received a full ride scholarship?
So I didn't receive a full ride scholarship from Howard University themselves, but I got scholarship from outside that covered my tuition over the 4 years.
Okay, so what is your major?
My major is computer science and my minor is physics.
Computer science. Women usually kind of, hesitate to do those subjects, STEM subjects. So you liked computers from early?
I've always liked computers. I'm always very hands-on. So growing up, I would think I would do something like, in computer engineering, which is more hands-on. But computer science, I found out about the software side of it, and I was like, computer science, and it's also a very versatile degree. And even though women aren't really going into that field, I'm not really afraid. I'm Jamaican, so that doesn't really scare me, It's hard, but if you want good, you know it's a for run. So that's just how my mindset is.
Okay. But you're already active at Howard. You're into several activities already. Can you tell us about some of them?
Okay, so I'm in the public relations shares for the Society of Women Engineers, and basically we're a society of women engineers at Howard who were committed to increasing opportunities in engineering for women, and we're just a body of women who support each other. As you already mentioned, like women in engineering is very limited, and one of the reasons is because of representation and support. So the chapter at Howard University, we encourage each other and we host events on campus. My role as a public relations chair, so I run the Instagram basically, and do all the marketing and the graphics and all that stuff. So with a team this year, I'm leading a team of 2. So that's HU Suite. That's what we call it, HU Suite. I'm also in HUCSA, which is Caribbean Students Association. And, just a whole bunch of Caribbean student vibing. We have, domino games and stuff. And, a lot of people come, like a lot of Jamaican artists come and see us, just spend some time with me and stuff. The Caribbean community at Howard is very strong. And
So you're keeping close to your roots.
Yes, never forget that. Now, Marcus Garvey said a tree, he had a quote that says something about a tree without roots. I don't remember exactly what it is now. But yeah, man, can't forget that.
No. Okay, but as you mentioned about women in STEM though? How can we encourage our youth to have an interest in a STEM based career? Right.
Listen, STEM is everywhere. You can't escape STEM. It is everywhere. It's all around you. The very air you breathe is STEM. Atmospheric physics is something I plan on doing in the future. So I just feel like we just need to learn how to apply it in a way that makes it seem, that make it fun as it is. You know, we don't have to put it out as something that's hard, because it's not hard, it's just different. You know, we have that mindset of, oh my gosh, this is hard. Only people with, you know, who cure cancer can do this, that. It just make it seem like it's impossible to get done. So I just feel like when we put the work in, it's we apply STEM in a way that is fun. I think we could get more people to go into that area, you know, because it's, as I said, it's everywhere. Technology is literally taking over the world. We need STEM to solve problems, you know, so there is no policy without STEM. So a lot of people want to go into politics and all that stuff, you know, even in policing, it's STEM. You just have to find where the STEM is and where innovation can be made.
I think if we have more examples of women in STEM, you know, that they can see and actually see them work, I guess they'll probably, you know,
representation does matter. I had representation after moving here in 2018. You know, I saw people, my high school computer science teacher, Dr. Jamila Mitchell, like she did things in computer science. I was like, whoa, I want to be like that. I never really knew that existed in that capacity. Like, yeah, I knew computer science were out there, but I never knew it was possible until I felt her teaching me, you know, until I saw her teaching me. And it's because I was able to apply what I was learning in school to my projects and stuff, like, you know, building programs, building an app. I remember for one of my exams, I built an app, a Jamaica quiz app, you know, it wasn't not a big deal, but I put Jamaica and everything, you know, but just being able to apply that, I think that was cool. So
you received an internship under the NASA student program, the Student Airborne Science Activation Program. Tell us about this program.
Wow. Okay. So this program ended yesterday. As I said, I just got back home last night. And well, it was, what should I tell you about it? There's a lot to know about it. But I guess one of the big highlights of the program is that we have the opportunity to fly on NASA's P3 aircraft to collect atmospheric samples. I did a lot of research. So my research focused on column ozone and the effects on the pandemic, and just to kind of monitoring the recovery and relapse of column ozone. So it's a research internship. I do plan on getting my PhD. So being in that internship was very helpful for me. We had the opportunity to like stay on NASA's base. So I stayed at NASA Wallops for like a good 3 weeks and interacted with the pilots. The science flights were just amazing. You know, I was hearing the pilots talk to the air traffic controllers. You know, I got to ask them questions like, why is that cloud in parallel lines, or, you know, stuff like that. And just seeing the different instruments on the plane. Flying commercial will never be the same again. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay. So how were you able to get this internship? Because I guess more than likely NASA, it must have been competitive.
Yes, it's a very, very competitive program. But listen, the Lord is on my side. That's something I can tell you, you know. For I know the plans I have for you, declare the Lord, because I actually got rejected from one of the internship I had my eyes on. I applied to Google's internship and I got rejected from that. I was sad and everything, but that rejection like kind of propelled me to apply to NASA's internship. And then I got into NASA's internship. So it was very competitive. There's only 25 of us that got selected across the country. So I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to be in that 25.
Okay. So when we hear of NASA, we usually think of space and astronauts and all of that. But
Yeah,
it's much more than that because
yeah,
you're into research.
yeah.
All
So
right.
you
Mm-hmm.
definitely need research to go to space. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the times when so NASA has like multiple divisions. I think it's 5 different divisions. And
Mm-hmm.
as I said, you need to what you're putting in space, you need to know how to put it in there. You need to know why you're putting
Mm-hmm.
it in there, and all of that is research. So like a lot of the satellites are launching, for example, in my research on column ozone, I got most of my data from the ozone monitoring instrument on the Aura satellite. I think that's on the I'm not sure if it's on the International Space Station, but like it's up there. And one of the reasons why NASA launched satellites to space is to look at Earth, to protect Earth. So
Mm-hmm.
all they're trying to do really is to protect Earth. And the Earth Science Division of NASA. That's something that people don't really know about. They always think about astronauts going to the moon and, the
Mm-hmm.
different missions like Artemis. So Artemis is a mission that is they plan to go on Mars. And yeah, people think about those missions, but NASA is so much more than just astronauts and all. A lot of satellites are up there, and they partner with different space agencies across the world. So yeah, it's really beautiful what they're doing at NASA.
You also recently launched the College Connect International. Tell me about that.
Okay, so the College Connect International, I grew up in Jamaica where I never really had a lot of opportunities. I grew up in Portmore. Yeah, I did Brighton thing, and I'm one of those. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I never had like parents that went to college, so I never really like know what is this like. Me going to high school, my focus was netball. Angelica, netball was your way to for education, because somehow you're going to get a scholarship for Australia or something, and you're going to get your education through there. So that was my focus, right? I never really thought of going to college overseas while I was living in Jamaica until I moved till I moved overseas. And I came here and I realized there's a lot of opportunities. Like there's a lot of people that is mentoring me, like, yo, have you had your college list? What colleges do you want to apply to? Have you taken the SATs? Have you been applying to scholarships? And I feel like that is something Jamaica lacks in a sense. And even if they do have it, it's for a certain group of people with a certain socioeconomic class, right? I'm not from the upper class. I'm not even from the upper middle class. So certain services I would be unable to afford. And I just wanted to create a pathway for students that were in my shoes, students who parents don't know about what is a college, like parents who doesn't know about college. Like I feel like one of the problems, and this is just my personal opinion, one of the problems that Jamaica has is we lack the ability to move from one socioeconomic class to the next, because we're a country that links the things. And I kind of want to change that, where it's like, even if you do not have somebody in the higher ups, you're still able to be successful, and I'm going to be there for you. So that's what the College Connect International about. And I know there's a similar problem not only in Jamaica but across different third world countries. So of course I'm going to start with Jamaica because that's where I'm from. And we have a board of 4 people: me, one of my friends from Barbados, a friend from Nigeria, and another Jamaican as well. So we're working, and right now we do SAT tutoring 3 times a week. And we have mentoring sessions, like how to write your college essay. So it's all about getting these students to college. And I wanted to go to the point where we're able to give scholarships to these students. So yeah, I think we have a cohort of probably 21 students right now that we mentor each week.
Okay.
So
Congratulations on that, man.
thank you.
And
Thank
all the
you.
best with that. But you mentioned being a first generation college student. Tell me
Yes.
what is that like?
So being a first generation college student, I just didn't really know a lot of stuff. Yes, I had the brains, and like a lot of people in Jamaica do, but without the push. You can have all this, you know, capacity, the knowledge and the intellect and everything, but with no one there with the experience to push you, it's kind of hard. For me, I'm just grateful, like so grateful to God that He provided those people for me through outside sources, like my mentors at Wolmer's and my mentors at my high school here in Florida. Like they saw something in me and they decided to push me, you know. So being a first generation, you just have to figure out a lot of things on your own. Being a first generation college student, it also means that money is an issue, in a sense where like you probably don't know, if I never got a full scholarship, I probably don't know how my tuition would be paid. You know, it's kind of hard to see a way out of your socioeconomic situation when you're first generation college student, because no one in your family has done it before. So that's really what it's like. But you know, we're maneuvering and I'm doing it for my bloodline, for all my kids and my grandkids, my generations after me, you know, so they won't have to be a first generation. So yeah.
Okay, you mentioned Jamaica. So you migrated when you were how old?
I think 15 years old, middle of my 9th grade year. Yeah.
Okay, and you went to Wolmer's.
Yes.
So tell me a little about Wolmer's.
Well, the best school ever. I get quite a gift, you know, and I'm so serious. I'm not even saying that because I went to Wolmer's. I feel like Wolmer's really groomed me. There's a lot of things I didn't know, like certain etiquette and, you know, just how to talk to people. It wasn't just about the academia. It was about how they grew me into being the woman I am today. Like to this day, it feels so uncomfortable eating on the road or walking on the grass. You know, there's that certain level of modesty that comes with going to that school that I really appreciate now. Like back then I was like, I'm hungry, I want to eat. But now, you know, like the woman I am becoming, I'm like a lot of who I am is contributed to that school because of the foundation they have set for me. And when I moved over here, because the foundation was already laid, I didn't have to, it wasn't hard to maneuver. I was already focused. I always had my dignity. And that's something my principal would say on the intercom every day: dignity and decorum, ladies, dignity and decorum. And the next thing, the alumni, both from the boys' school and the girls' school, once they know you're out there, they're going to support you to the best of your ability. And I'm just so grateful for that school. Like, I don't know, I don't understand if the school know how much I love the school. But I'm one of those people that even when I'm like 60, 70 years old, I'm going to be like, woman. Yeah, so yeah, really great school.
So which school you went to when you migrated to Florida?
I went to Evans High School. It was predominantly Black high school because of the area I live in. And every school has, you know, its ups and downs. And it's a school where, you know, because it's predominantly Black and, you know, the racial issues in America, they don't expect a lot of great things to come from that school. And also a lot of Caribbeans go to that school as well. So it feels good to, like, I just wanted to, you know, kind of prove the people wrong in a sense. So yeah, good things can come from my school, any school I went to. And it's not even about the school you attend, it's about you, you know. Can anything good come from Nazareth? I'm a Christian, so yeah, great things can come.
So even at that school, you gained several awards as well. Tell us some of the awards that you got there.
Well, so I was Trojan of the Year, and that's basically like so there are 2 Trojan of the Year, one for male and one for female, and that's basically, I guess, the most outstanding, if you want to equate it to that, most outstanding student over your 4 years or the time you have been there. So that was that. I feel like I did a lot of things there. I was a senior class president, that's equivalent to head girl, you know, or head boy, but it was just one person. And I did a lot of things, like I did debate. I was the vice president of Avid Council. At one point, I was Miss Avid 2019. Just embodying that college-minded person, that person who is focused. I think that was what that award was for. And I was on the honor roll, even, at Wolmer, I was on the honor roll. And I remember getting an award from the Chamber of Commerce from my county. What's it called? It was a SOAR award. I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's just basically excellence in academia. So I've definitely gotten a couple of awards for excellence in academia, which I'm very grateful for. Yeah.
So migrating, did you experience any, racism, that kind of thing?
So I've experienced xenophobia in a sense, not necessarily racism, because as I said, I came to a very Black high school, but definitely xenophobia. Like, I have a very strong accent sometimes. It kind of in and out.
Come and go.
Yeah, come and go, and it is expected. But when I just came, I had a very strong accent, and just certain things that I would do in my culture, like people wouldn't, understand. For example, I remember one time I got in trouble because I was telling someone that they're in the way. I was writing on the board, and I telling someone they're in the way, and I was snapping at them. I was like, "Yo, you're in the way," or just a call to them. And I got in trouble because apparently you only snap at dogs in the US. So I got in trouble for that. But there's definitely the cultural intermingling. That's something I've learned to deal with, like learn what is appropriate, or, oh my, this may be appropriate in Jamaican culture, but in another culture, it means something completely different. But yeah, xenophobia is something I experienced, and racism, I'm no experiencing racism to a greater extent, but yeah, it's there.
Okay. So what motivates you?
Wow, my faith in God motivates me. I am a firm believer in Christ, and honestly, as I said, I had a very rough mental upbringing. It wasn't all bad, but it wasn't all perfect. And I just feel like, God has chosen me. Like, greater is in me than is he that is in the world. And I just know that God put me on this earth to do like great things, and I just have to execute in his purpose for me. And yeah, it's really, really my faith that motivates me. I'm not thinking of probably my friends as well. My friends are a big factor, like people who believe in me, people who believe I can do great things, they motivate me. Also, another big motivator is my past. As I said, I didn't really grow up in the, let me have someone to drive me to school today. I didn't really grow up like that. I had to take, tech bus, and I had a very real Jamaican experience, not like an uptown, we go to like a real Jamaican lower middle class experience. And I don't want to, I know there's like a better life out there. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna know set education and gonna bring me through this. So if there's a point where I feel like I'm failing or something, of course my faith is my first thing, but that all often reminds me of where I'm coming from and how far God has brought me. Like, I remember when I was here and like absolutely nothing, like working at NASA, that wasn't even a part of my imagination. Now I'm here. So my faith is the big one.
What would you say, Angelica, are some of the strategies that you have used to be successful so far?
Okay, so the strategies to be successful. To be honest, I don't consider myself successful. Not yet. But
yes, you're well on your way.
Yes, well on my way. But what I've been doing, I think it's working. So focus. Discipline, determination, focus. Discipline, determination, focus. I am very disciplined. I do not let outside things corrupt my judgment. Friends, I choose good friends. You know, bad company corrupts good character. I choose good friends because if I'm going to be around these people every day, it means that they're going to influence me every day. So all my friends are doing great things and all my friends are excelling, you know. So when I'm having a bad day, they're there to pull me up. And when they're having a bad day, I'm there to pull them up, you know. So that's that focus, having focus. Faith, again, I feel like I keep going back to faith, but it's honestly just my reality. It's my reality. Faith and work, you know, put the work in. If you can sit down and you talk all day and say, yo, you want to be this, that, and you don't put the work in, nothing not gonna come out of that. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And that's principle. That's not only biblical, but it's principle. So if I'm going to get up early in the morning and I'm going to make sure I'm studying, I just know that I'm going to reap excellence. And even if I may not see it right then and there, then I just still know because of my faith that it's going to come sometime soon. For example, when I got rejected from Google, I was really studying so hard, but then I was like, whoa, what's happening? You know, but then going back to the whole faith thing, I just knew that he knows the plans he has for me, you know. So that's really my thing for success. But discipline, focus, determination. I do not let anything bring me down. Of course, I have sad moments. Of course, I have sad days and all that stuff. But is it going to stop my progress? Absolutely not. You know, I have a goal in mind. Every single day I get up and I said, all right, I want to accomplish these things today. I'm going to do my best. Go, I get what it is. Whatever you do, that's Wolmer's motto. Whatever you do it to the best of your ability. And I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to execute everything I want to do to the best of my ability. And that includes having fun.
Leave a message for our young people here in Jamaica.
Okay, no problem. I always say this, and this is a quote that was shared with me from Wolmer's volleyball coach. I don't know if he remembers when I started high school here, and I was like, sir, you have anything to share with me? You know, and it has kept me through a lot of difficulties, and its failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. You know, so if I'm determined to succeed, if I'm determined to excel, failure, it happens. It's happening. Failure is a must. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of the journey. But will it overtake me? No, it will not, because my determination to succeed is definitely stronger. So, yeah. And, you know, we're Jamaicans. We thrive in everything we do. We're exceptional. So nothing, just the fact that we're Jamaicans should just motivate us.
Right. Angelica, boy, it was great talking to you. I really enjoyed it. I have to say thanks for being here. And I'm looking forward to the research that you'll be doing and the work that you'll be doing here in Jamaica too, because I'm sure you'll be back here at some point.
Yes.
So it was great talking to you.
It was a pleasure being here as well.
Yeah, man. Thanks.